To a great turnout. I want to just say what a great job the Fiesta Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl Foundation has done. They're going to be rolling out the red carpet here, but it's more than that.
Taking over as executive director and CEO of the organization, he's taken it to new heights, new football initiatives, record levels of giving in Arizona with Arizona's teachers through the Wishes for Teachers. He's led a brand of evolution at the Fiesta Sports Foundation to show all the organization does on, but especially off the field. It's my honor to introduce Eric Moses.
So we've been waiting for almost 4 weeks for these teams to emerge, and emerge they did. There were some great games yesterday. Judy got to see the folks down at the Sugar Bowl and still was able to get back here on time, which is quite a feat. And I was down at the Cotton Bowl seeing Miami surprise most of the college football world and advance to the Verbal Fiesta Bowl. Not all of it. Mike wasn't surprised at all. Look, the road to the national championship runs through the Valley, and we're excited about that, to be able to host another semifinal here where the winner will advance to a national championship. You know, the economic impact that this game and the surrounding activities provide to the Valley is about $200 million, which is really significant for our hotel partners. Yeah, that's worth clapping for. Our hotel partners, our hospitality partners, obviously the airport and other businesses here locally. That's why these events are so important. But more importantly, as Mike alluded to, the Fiesta Sports Foundation really is about giving back to communities all throughout the state of Arizona. And every ticket that is purchased, every sponsorship, every donation that comes into our organization really helps to give back to this community and to support this community. And that's at the heart of what we do. As you can see from the yellow jackets and the red jackets around here, people are giving, as I like to say, their time, talent, and treasure to this organization to help support this state. And so we're so excited that everybody could be here to help us today. Phoenix Sky Harbor is the best place to announce these teams that are coming in here. And I want to thank the airport, the city of Phoenix, and Visit Phoenix for helping us to announce this today. I'm not going to belabor this because we want to get excited about the teams that are going to be coming in here. They're fans that are going to be pouring into the Valley and spending their money here in the Valley and enjoying our fantastic weather, which I can assure you is better than most of the places where these folks will be coming from. So I think we're going to get ready to announce and to slap the brackets on there so we can see who's there. If you have not bought tickets, hurry up, because they're going fast. This is going to be a fantastic game. Thank you all for being here. And without further ado, let's get some names on the bracket here.
It's all about the youth.
All right, and they're going to be facing from the SEC.
Phoenix is on the clock, 226 days until tip-off.
Today was the official kickoff of the countdown clock at Sky Harbor Airport, marking 226 days until tip-off for the 2026 Women's Final Four.
This is the first time we've ever hosted the Women's Final Four. We're really looking forward to April, where we will welcome fans from all over the world to see the best in women's college basketball.
It is going to be an amazing party and campus in downtown Phoenix. What's really interesting about this event is all of the extra events are free. So it's family friendly. It'll be throughout the weekend. It's a holiday weekend with Easter. And so we'll be able to see families from around the state and around the city come down and enjoy the Women's Final Four.
We have 4 Division I programs here in Arizona. So this community is more than ready to embrace the Women's Final Four when it takes center stage. It's going to be the best setting for the Women's Final Four. For young fans, for players, for coaches, for families, they get to create lifelong memories on one of the biggest stages in sports.
Really, there's nothing like the excitement of March Madness. Women's basketball is on the rise. As someone who played basketball, I too was one of those that envisioned it being at the pedestal that it is today. Yes, they drive tourism. Yes, they drive economic development. But they really give us, our state, our city, an opportunity on the national and global scale to have exposure.
The NCAA has been wonderful about partnering with our Parks Department.
They did renovations and projects such as East Lake Park, got to see new basketball courts and redesign of their facilities. And I am just excited to see how it all comes to fruition in 226 days.
Phoenix is a basketball town. We are also Championship Valley. We have welcomed the NCAA, Super Bowls, great soccer. This is the place to host championship events.
There is no greater place than Phoenix in April because the weather is amazing and we are coming off of spring training, so just get ready to have amazing weather, good sports, and good food out in Phoenix.
So for the next 226 days, this clock will not only serve as a reminder of the women's Final Four for the millions of travelers that come through beautiful Sky Harbor Airport, it's also a point of pride for all of us here in the community.
You'll see that we are excited about the NCAA Final Four. The women are going to be really proud of the event we put on.
Checkmate.
Good info is a good thing. The Broadway Curve project is in the works. Prepare for lane closures and detours. Stay ahead of the curve at i10broadwaycurve.com.
Happy New Year, good morning. My name is Mike Broomhead. I work over at KTAR 92.3 FM. I am so excited to be here on behalf of the Fiesta Sports Foundation. The Fiesta Bowl means a lot to this community, on the field, but most importantly, off the field. This game is so important to this community, and in just a couple of days, this entire week, thousands and thousands and thousands of people will be coming through this terminal to visit our city, to visit our community, and we are putting on such a great game and event that is going to be watched around the country, maybe even around the world. In just a few moments, right behind me, we are going to be putting up the two teams that are going to play in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl for a chance to play in the national championship game. So it is, fair enough. It is my honor to introduce the chair of the Fiesta Sports Foundation Board of Directors, a passionate supporter of college football and the community impact. Please welcome Judy Burness.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Mike. It is so exciting to be here today. What a great day. Just last night, I was in New Orleans watching an incredible game to see who's going to come to play in our game. And what a game it was. So just think about the experience that we're going to have here. So we're so excited to have that experience here. We're so excited to welcome you all here. This is an organization that is a crown jewel of this community, the Fiesta Bowl. You all know it. We've been there many, many years. We love it. And we are going to see a great matchup this year. So I get to fly in and out of this airport a lot. But how much fun it was to walk off the plane this morning. I landed less than an hour ago. But to walk off the plane this morning and see the makeover with all of the Fiesta Sports Foundation memorabilia, the trophy, all of our yellow jackets. This is an incredible experience, and we are so excited to welcome everybody here today. In just a few days, actually probably today, fans are starting to pour into this airport and this community to celebrate this amazing game and to see who is going to be the winner and move on to the national championship. We're part of the CFP 12-team playoff, so whoever wins our game goes on to the championship. So that's the caliber that we have here. And when those teams take the field, it will put a huge spotlight on Arizona, a huge spotlight like the size of our trophy over there that you can all see. So we're excited to have you all here, and on behalf of the board of directors, the Yellow Jackets, our ambassadors, our volunteers, I have one thing to say. Let's go!
The next speaker started to work for the City of Phoenix in 2003, the same year when the Fiesta Bowl gave all of college football arguably the greatest game in history and most controversial, coming from Miami Hurricane, in the history of the game of Miami versus Ohio State. As Phoenix' first ever major events administrator from 2015 to 2022, she led the events like the CFP National Championship, Final Four, Super Bowls. As Assistant Aviation Director, Chief Revenue Officer, she leads the Phoenix Airport System Revenue Strategy. Please welcome Roxanne Favors.
Good morning, thank you. Thank you, Judy and Mike. And I want to thank all of our colleagues at the Fiesta Bowl and Visit Phoenix that are here today. We're excited to be here today and to have a fantastic activation at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. It's amazing to see it come in and go up, especially that giant iconic trophy over there. I want to thank all the team members from the Fiesta Bowl and our aviation department that truly use their muscles to get that into this building for the thousands of college football fans visiting the Valley to come and enjoy it. We love to see these kind of fun and surprising activations here at the airport for our passengers and our employees, especially when the activation involves a hallmark Arizona event like the Fiesta Bowl. Welcoming crowds from major sporting events is in our DNA here at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. The games and the related activities bring excited fans into town and are great for the airport, our airline and concession partners, and the economy of Phoenix, the Valley, and the whole state of Arizona. The Fiesta Bowl helped started that trend more than 50 years ago, and the game and the events surrounding it are always a highlight. We are proud that more than 100 aviation department family and employees and volunteering to be part of and participate in tomorrow's Fiesta Bowl parade in Central Phoenix. We're excited to be here and to see the teams move on in the brackets, and the Phoenix Sky Harbor staff, along with our concessionaires, our airline partners, are ready to welcome the teams and the thousands of visitors to the Valley for the game. Thank you.
Our next guest has done great work for the City of Phoenix to lift its profile on an international level. He's brought big issues, big sports events to the Valley since moving into his role as the president and CEO of Visit Phoenix. Ron Price has seen how tourism and sports interconnect for decades and in multiple cities. But I know that he knows how much better Phoenix is than any other market across the country. Please welcome Ron Price.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Judy, you were at the game last night.
Yep.
I was on my couch last night. I want to talk about the game here today. I cannot believe the turnout that happened. And so very excited that we're going to have these two teams with us. Mike, you're right. We do these big events better than anyone else. So we're very fortunate to be a destination where these big events take place. I think we do it very well. And the fact that we get to be a semifinal game this year is going to be very special. Especially when you look at the teams that we have coming in. These are teams that travel. These are teams that the fans are going to be here because their teams are going to be making it to the national championship. So we're looking forward to a great turnout. I want to just say what a great job the Fiesta Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl Foundation has done. They're going to be rolling out the red carpet here. But it's more than that. It's the fact that they're in the community. They're raising funds to build a better community. And for all of us, the citizens here, we can't thank you enough. So let's all give a big round of applause for the Fiesta Bowl and all the Yellow Jackets here. So with that, we look forward to rolling out the red carpet, getting these teams here. It's going to be a fun week. These visitors aren't just coming here for the game, but they're going to be coming here and experiencing the destination. So we look forward to welcome them here. So with that, thank you all.
Our next speaker is someone I love to have on my show. He's one of my favorite guests, and it's because of his passion for college football, but also passion for making the community a better place. Since taking over as executive director and CEO of the organization, he's taken it to new heights, new football initiatives, record levels of giving in Arizona with Arizona's teachers through the Wishes for Teachers. He's led a brand of evolution at the Fiesta Sports Foundation to show all the organization does on, but especially off the field. It's my honor to introduce Eric Moses.
So we've been waiting for almost 4 weeks for these teams to emerge, and emerge they did. There were some great games yesterday. Judy got to see the folks down at the Sugar Bowl and still was able to get back here on time, which is quite a feat. And I was down at the Cotton Bowl seeing Miami surprise most of the college football world and advance to the Verbal Fiesta Bowl. Not all of it. Mike wasn't surprised at all. Look, the road to the national championship runs through the Valley, and we're excited about that, to be able to host another semifinal here where the winner will advance to a national championship. You know, the economic impact that this game and the surrounding activities provide to the Valley is about $200 million, which is really significant for our hotel partners. Yeah, that's worth clapping for. Our hotel partners, our hospitality partners, obviously the airport and other businesses here locally. That's why these events are so important. But more importantly, as Mike alluded to, the Fiesta Sports Foundation really is about giving back to communities all throughout the state of Arizona. And every ticket that is purchased, every sponsorship, every donation that comes into our organization really helps to give back to this community and to support this community. And that's at the heart of what we do. As you can see from the yellow jackets and the red jackets around here, people are giving, as I like to say, their time, talent, and treasure to this organization to help support this state. And so we're so excited that everybody could be here to help us today. Phoenix Sky Harbor is the best place to announce these teams that are coming in here. And I want to thank the airport, the city of Phoenix, and Visit Phoenix for helping us to announce this today. I'm not going to belabor this because we want to get excited about the teams that are going to be coming in here. They're fans that are going to be pouring into the Valley and spending their money here in the Valley and enjoying our fantastic weather, which I can assure you is better than most of the places where these folks will be coming from. So I think we're going to get ready to announce and to slap the brackets on there so we can see who's there. If you have not bought tickets, hurry up, because they're going fast. This is going to be a fantastic game. Thank you all for being here. And without further ado, let's get some names on the bracket here.
It's all about the youth.
All right, and they're going to be facing from the SEC.
Bienvenidos a Phoenix en un minuto, más o menos. Estamos aquí frente a la escuela primaria Booker T. Washington, construida en 1928. La escuela está ubicada en 1201 East Jefferson Street. Esta es la primera escuela primaria para afroamericanos en Phoenix, un edificio de 2 pisos construido por $100,000 o casi $2 millones en la economía actual. Con una capacidad para 450 estudiantes, no solo sería un lugar de aprendizaje, sino también un punto de reunión para la comunidad afroamericana que veía la escuela como un símbolo de orgullo. La escuela cerraría en 1984 y el espacio sería reutilizado como oficinas para New Times y V Digital Service. El edificio sería añadido al registro de propiedades históricas de Phoenix en junio del 2005. Welcome to Phoenix in about a minute. Today we visit an amazing site in North Phoenix, the Deer Valley Petroglyph Preserve, a quarter-mile-long nature walk featuring petroglyphs and natural desert plants. The preserve has an incredible museum and gallery with exhibits like the Southwest Ceramics, Manos en Metates, the Agave, the Hedgepath Hills Historical Exhibit, and the Roosevelt Platform Mound Study. But the main attraction will always be the petroglyphs and the basalt boulders, more than 1,500 symbols full of history and storytelling from the indigenous cultures that lived here before us. So don't miss this amazing opportunity and visit this historical site right in your backyard.
Up until 1889, the majority of the water that was used by Phoenicians came from the actual original canal that went through town. In 1889, a man named John Gardner started the first city waterworks, which is where we're standing today. Water was delivered to this very spot at Verde Park by a redwood tunnel that extended for 30 miles to the east and the northeast. Part of the city waterworks in 1938 was this pump house. It was built with the intention of being an emergency pump house. Water has always been an important element of thriving in the Valley of the Sun. This pump house represents one of the few remaining structures that show how that water was transported in the early 20th century. And it's a wonderful piece of architecture here in the southwest corner of the Garfield Historic District that we can all continue to enjoy here at Verde Park.
Welcome to the Cesar Chavez Community Center, the City of Phoenix's newest recreation center here in the beautiful Levine Village. Come, I'll take you around. Over here you will see the Cesar Chavez timeline. It's a great piece of work. As soon as you walk into the facility, you can see all the impact that Cesar Chavez has had in Arizona, and it's for you guys to see when you guys arrive. This here is our lovely gymnasium. It has basketball capacity, volleyball, pickleball. We have wonderful courts that are meant for youth and adult spaces. And this is also included in your membership when you register at phoenix.gov or at our front desk. Welcome to our multi-purpose room. This room is designed to have special events, meetings, take classes. It seats anywhere between 80 to 100 people and is reservable. This is our beautiful courtyard, along with lawn games where families can come and enjoy the beautiful Arizona weather. This space is also available to reserve for special occasions and special gatherings. And this is our beautiful teaching style kitchen that we have here at the Cesar Chavez Community Center. It is designed to teach classes here in our community. So if you're interested in cooking 101 or maybe baking, this might be a good class for you to come and take. We have stoves, refrigerators, microwaves, and I know this will be a great place for you to come and enjoy and learn to cook. And this is our wonderful game room space where it's designed for youth and adults to come hang out and engage in a friendly game of pool table, hockey, or foosball. This is also a great space for parents to come hang out while their children are taking classes here at our lovely community center. This is one of the amenities that is included in your membership here at the Cesar Chavez Community Center. And this is our beautiful upstairs fitness center that is designed with cardio machines, free weights, weight machines, and if fitness is one of your goals, this might be a place for you. Out here, we have this beautiful view of the Estrella Mountains, where while you're working out, you can have a great view here. This also has an outdoor space that is designed to take a class, maybe like an outdoor yoga or meditation class. Also, a reservable space, so if you have a meeting and you'd like to enjoy the beautiful weather here in Laveen, this might be the spot for you. And this is our wonderful indoor walking track. So if you don't want to be outside, you want to get out of the sun for a little bit, you can come in here and take some laps. It is used to walk or run, and keep in mind 14 laps is 1 mile. To the side, you will see all of our Laveen historic photos. These photos date back to the 50s, and you will see some of the lovely traditions that still happen here in the Laveen Village, such as the barbecue parade and the Laveen parade.
In the city of Phoenix, there are over 60 high schools. Today, we are in the very first one, Phoenix Union High School. We're in the auditorium building on campus facing Van Buren, right near 7th Street. The high school opened in 1897 in a home, a huge mansion actually, that was built by the then Territorial Attorney General, a guy by the name of Clark Churchill. At its peak, Phoenix Union High School was the largest high school west of the Mississippi, with over 6,500 students on a campus that spread out for 18 acres, 4 city blocks, and had 9 different buildings. Notable people who have graduated from here include Barry Goldwater and Steve Allen, the comedian. Over the years, not only did it serve educational purposes, but this was the center of Phoenix entertainment, civic events, meetings, conferences, etc. Now, the Phoenix Union High School District sprung from this school. Even though it no longer serves the purpose of educating our high school students, many Phoenicians who attended here over the years still love to say the motto, "Fight on, Coyotes."
Bienvenidos a Phoenix en un minuto, más o menos. Estamos aquí frente al edificio de Phoenix Union High School, construido en 1912, localizados en 512 East Van Buren Street. Los 3 edificios principales fueron diseñados con
Good morning and welcome to the February 11th, 2026 Economic Development and the Arts Subcommittee. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and then I'd like to turn to our City Attorney, David Benton, to please explain public comment.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. During citizen comment, members of the public may address the subcommittee for up to 3 minutes. on issues of interest or concern to them. The issues being addressed, however, must be subject matters that fall within the jurisdiction of the City Council and within which the City Council has the power to act. The Arizona Open Meeting Law permits subcommittee members to listen to the comments, but prohibits members from discussing or acting on matters presented. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. And then I'd like to take an opportunity to allow our interpreter, Elsie Duarte, to introduce herself.
Thank you, Madam Chair O'Brien. My name is Elsie Duarte, and I will be providing Spanish interpretation during today's Economic Development and Arts Subcommittee session. I will now take a moment to address our Spanish-speaking audience. Buenos días, mi nombre es Elsie Duarte. Estaré interpretándole a nuestra audiencia de habla hispana durante esta sesión del Subcomité de Desarrollo Económico y Artes. Para escuchar la reunión en español presencialmente, favor de pasar por unos audífonos ubicados a la entrada de la sala de cámaras. Las personas registradas para hacer un comentario público sepan que podrán hablar libremente sin interrupciones durante el tiempo disponible. Sus comentarios serán interpretados al momento que usted termine de hablar. Gracias. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Elsie. I'm just going to verify that we do not have any call to the public this morning. Wonderful, thank you. Our first item for possible action is approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. Our item number 2, which is for information and discussion, is our Artist to Work grants program. And to the table, we invite Frank McCune, Deputy City Manager, Carrie Brown, the Interim Arts and Cultural Director, and Sarah Leone, our Grants and Community Engagement Program Manager. Welcome and thank you for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Chairman O'Brien and Council members Robinson and Stark. Today we'd like to introduce and talk about our Artist to Work grants program, which supports the creation and presentation of original, new, or in-process artistic work by practicing Phoenix artists. Awarded artists are required to complete a public presentation within the city of Phoenix boundary. Today, I'd like to introduce our interim Arts and Culture Director, Carrie Brown, who will take over the presentation. Thank you.
All right, good morning, Chair O'Brien, members of the subcommittee. Thank you for having us here today. As mentioned, I'm Carrie Brown, Interim Arts and Culture Director. This is the first time I'm before you in this role. Previously, for the past 3.5 years, I've been serving as Deputy Director over the city's public art program. I bring a lot of years of experience working with local arts agencies. I've worked with Glendale, Mesa, Los Angeles County, Austin, and most recently San Antonio, where I was the San Antonio River Authority's first public art curator. But I got my start here in Phoenix working with Valley Metro on the first light rail section. So sort of come full circle. I'm really excited and honored to have this opportunity and look forward to serving the arts and culture community in this new capacity. So thank you. I'm joined here today by Sarah Leone, our Grants and Community Engagement Director. So we will sort of tag team this presentation today. Okay, the Office of Arts and Culture consists of 4 divisions: public art, grants, cultural facilities, and the Sotavaki Museum and Archaeological Office. The grants program historically has been and continues to be funded by annual allocations from City Council. The Community Arts Grants Program, which just opened in January, offers core operating and project grants to applicants who provide arts and culture programming to Phoenix residents and visitors. During the pandemic, we launched the office's first individual artist programs. One was an emergency relief program from CARES Act funding, and the second was a competitive project-based program funded by ARPA dollars, which is the Artist to Work program. Here is a snapshot of the current fiscal year's grant funding breakdown. There's a total of $1,755,346 that went to 168 Phoenix-based artists and arts organizations. The bulk of the grants are made from general fund allocations, including the general support and project support programs. Rental support, which is possible with funds from the Convention Center, goes to organizations that perform at Symphony Hall, Orpheum Theater, and the Herberger Theater Center. Prior to this fiscal year, grants awarded to individual artists in the Artists to Work program were funded by ARPA, as I mentioned. However, this fiscal year, a grant from the National Endowments for the Arts enabled us to award the newest cohort, and as our ARPA dollars are fully spent. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sarah. Good morning. Oh, sorry, thank you. I want to first provide a little background to the Artist to Work program. As Carrie mentioned, the money to fund the first 3 years of the program for individual artists came from the American Rescue Plan Act. The money was designed to address the negative impacts of the pandemic, and one portion of the arts funding went towards putting Phoenix artists back to work, hence the name Artist to Work. The program supports the creation and presentation of original artistic work by Phoenix artists across all disciplines. Awardees are required to complete a public presentation inside City of Phoenix boundaries that primarily benefits City of Phoenix residents. During the development stage of the program, we held multiple focus groups and researched individual artist programs across the nation from other city local arts agencies. One internal or driving value was to build a program that would help incentivize artists to remain here in the city. Too often we've heard of artists who are from here, really incredible folks, moving to Seattle, LA, Denver, Minneapolis, New York City to look for more concrete support, and we really wanted to incentivize them to stay in the city. Here are just a few numbers from our first 3 years of the program. In total, across 3 cycles funded by ARPA dollars, we awarded 65 individual artists across all disciplines. We had almost 500 applicants in these first 5 years. In those 5 years, it is a competitive program, and about 10 to 13% of total eligible applicants have been funded. As mentioned, one of the requirements is to complete a public presentation inside City of Phoenix boundaries that primarily benefits City of Phoenix residents. Our office provides awardees the option of participating in our produced event, which is a reception and showcase, producing their own public benefit or offering, or doing both. More often than not, most awardees have done both. For the past 3 years of the program, we partnered with the Sagrado Galleria in South Phoenix to produce the event at the Rio Salado Audubon Center. While the Audubon, as we know, is a long-beloved destination for Phoenicians and visitors, we found that many of our showcase attendees and artists had not known about it before, and really they've decided to continue going, and they've been doing a number of arts events since we started producing the event there. Awardees' project years are calendar years, so the newest cohort of 10 artists were just announced. Over the course of the year, they will participate in a professional development cohort series and will present their funded projects at the reception showcase in January 2027. Because we now have fewer grants to make annually from that grant from National Endowment for the Arts, we've opted to open the application to artists in focused disciplines. This year, we have literary and performing artist grantees. The next cycle of the program opens in summer of this calendar year, and awardees will be announced at this time. A year from now, it will open to visual art and film applicants. I want to also highlight the fact that the awardees love to bring in other artists, contractors, and collaborators to support the creation of their funded projects. While this is something we encourage, it is not required. Over the 3 completed cycles, in addition to the 65 awarded artists, 126 artist contractors and collaborators were paid by the funded artists. Out of those 126, 110 were Phoenix-based artists. This program reflects and encourages an organic, relational, and resourceful ecosystem of individual artists. It has been widely popular and also has transformed the way artists across access our office and the city as a whole. Prior to the pandemic, while our office hired public art artists and knew other artists who were connected to arts and cultural organizations and our personal networks, we lacked a deep connection to the diverse community of individual artists, poets, sculptors, filmmakers, experimental, multimedia artists. Now we are more equipped to connect businesses, nonprofits, schools, other city departments to the work of artists, and vice versa. We bring in artists to teach professional development and recommend them for other paid gigs. and opportunities, including teaching artist calls and other contracts. It is a very beloved program, and while it originally was a response to the pandemic and that emergency moment in our city and world, the program itself and its outcomes have been deeply encouraging. We've also discovered that our grantees become organic ambassadors for our office and the city, and our reputation in the area is as an artist-friendly institution. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. And with that, we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Councilman Robinson.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Excuse me. I was just kind of doing the math, just looking at everything, and I'm full support of all things art, because I do understand that, you know, the arts bring people to Phoenix. I understand how all that works and everything. But when I look at our grant program, the one on slide number 3, general support, project support, and rental support, that really comes out to about $10,000 per artist. I'm trying to figure out how our artists, how are they able to really sustain themselves and do the work that they want to do and live, make a living and all those types of things. I know we're just one small part of that, but am I understanding it correctly that they're actually earning monies in other ways with other viewings and things like that and other work that they're doing?
Yeah, Sarah can speak to that in more detail, Councilwoman Robinson, but just generally, artists are seeking funding from multiple sources. We, as you said, are just one of them. But Sarah, I don't know if you want to elaborate on sort of your experience.
Thank you for the question, Councilmember Robinson. Yes, we found that most of our artists hold multiple positions. They are working as arts administrators in arts and culture organizations and community organizations. They are servers. They hold a number of other subcontractor gigs and other contracting gigs throughout the city and Metro Phoenix, whether it's as teaching artist or they get paid as an organizer of an event. So the hustle is real for these artists. We only award dollars to artists who are producing original work because we want to support new work being built here in the city. So yes, that is very true. Most of these dollars that you see on slide 3 are going to our arts and cultural organizations for the general fund. So that is Phoenix Art Museum and the ballet and a number of these folks. We've also found that lots of artists work at these organizations, and then they also are creating work on the side, or they are running small arts and cultural organizations as a volunteer position.
And thank you. That makes me clearly feel a lot better, because I'm obviously wishing, or I wish we were in a position to give more to the arts, because, you know, it's a support system for the city of Phoenix. So I remember being told one time that for every art exhibit or whatever kind of exhibit, people who come to it have a tendency to spend something like $50 or $60 per person, which goes into the economy. Not, you know, they pay to get into the event and then everything else. So I was in that overall ecosystem. I was just trying to figure out if there was a way for us to add more dollars to the grant process. But thank you for your answer. Thank you, Sarah, very much. I do appreciate it. Great presentation. I thank you for the time, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Robinson. Councilwoman Stark?
Thank you. It's funny, I have a nephew who's an artist, but he also works in a coffee shop. But he has done quite well between the two. Very quick question. How do you get the word out? I know we'll be happy to promote whatever we can on social media, but what are some of the organizations, or how do you get the word out so artists know that we have these important programs?
Councilwoman Stark, thank you for that question. It has been quite a process to learn how to get the word out over time. Thankfully, at the start of the pandemic, we learned very quickly how to promote effectively and to build the trust of artists. We held multiple focus groups to get some learning about how to do it most effectively. What we learned, especially when we were trying to reach artists of color at the beginning of the pandemic, was that an artist, so to speak, would need to hear from about 5 trusted entities, whether it's other artists or organizations, to make them feel confident to apply for money. We heard that, and we decided to immediately go to our arts and culture organizations, folks that trusted us and we had a long-standing relationship with, go to artists that we did know, and ask them to talk to other artists. And it was a lot of work, but we are very confident that we've done a great job at getting the program out there. I was just reaching out to a lot of folks, cold calls, and so was my colleague, Aneli Ariola, and she speaks Spanish, and so we were able to also build a Spanish-speaking and English-speaking program when we award both Spanish-speaking and English-speaking artists. We get out there in the community as much as possible and ask folks to vouch for us, and we know that building that trust is the most important thing to get the word out. In addition to all the different avenues and platforms that we use, we also have a very solid grant platform that we use that folks have found to be very accessible, and we've also offered it to the Parks Department as well to get their word out about parks grants. So that one platform itself has been such a great tool, and it has not been a barrier to applying, but we would love to share more with your offices and to get the word out to constituents in your districts. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to help. I am very excited. We're going to be doing an art project in Cave Creek Park, and something that's very important to me is that we try to find artists that has some connection with either the park or that part of the city of Phoenix. And I think, when we invest in art, we really see pride and ownership in different parts of our city. When I'm in Moon Valley and I see that Grasshopper Bridge, I know I'm in Moon Valley, and they own it, they love it. The kids that grew up in that area, they still talk about it when they're adults. I mean, it really it's something special. So any way I can help, I want to, because I see the value of art. And I agree with Councilman Robinson. There's economic benefits and good returns in doing that. And when you mentioned the Riverwalk in San Antonio, I mean, that's spectacular. That's what draws people to that city, and it's just full of amazing art. So again, any way that we can help get the word out, I appreciate this. This is a great presentation. I'm glad you put it on, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And now we'll go to Councilwoman Pastor has some comments or questions.
Yes, I just want to thank the staff for the presentation, but I really want to thank the staff for listening to the council during the 2020 when the pandemic hit and we had to figure out how to get money out to our artists, but also in building that trust and relationship with the artist of wanting to apply, and really looking at not only just local artists, but looking at smaller artists, not as big in the community, and giving them the first not first gig or big project so that they could be recognized. And so I want to appreciate what the art department has been doing in order to get out. And there's always many different ways to continue to do the good work that you're doing, but thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Pastor. I just have a couple of questions. The slide you have on, I guess it's slide 7, about paid contractors and collaborators. I just want to make sure that in the location part of that slide, is that the location of the person receiving the grant as well as any collaborators?
So those are Councilmember O'Brien, those are the locations of the collaborators that are participating in the projects.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I do appreciate that a lot of those collaborators are local artists as well and contractors. So thank you for making sure that we're doing so much to help folks who are here locally. I also want to thank you for your collaboration with Parks on your grant system, because I think it's great when we share best practices or great resources with our other participants. This is such an exciting program, and please, like Councilwoman Stark said, please make sure you let us help to spread the word. We want to share this with our constituents, and if we can help get a better outreach, although you are to be commended on all the work you have done. It did not sound like an easy feat, and thank you for not letting those barriers stand in your way so we could reach out to our artists. This is incredible, and I look forward to the continued great work of this program, and thank you to the staff. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, our item number 3, which is for information and discussion, is Phoenix's economic overview and update, and we will have Ryan Tohill, our Community and Economic Development Director, as well as Eric Johnson, the Community and Economic Development Assistant Director, join us this morning for this presentation. Thank you, gentlemen.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the subcommittee. It's great to be here today. Who's advancing? Oh, thanks. Sorry about that. Thanks for the opportunity to be here today and for your continued leadership on behalf of the city. Madam Chair, you mentioned Eric's here with me. I also want to just acknowledge that Jasmine Lombera, our research manager, is behind me, who helped to pull a lot of our data together. Today we're kicking off a 6-part series to examine the Phoenix economy. As you know, I'm still new to the city, having officially joined on December 1st. So I want to start by just saying how grateful I am for the warm welcome from the council, the city leadership, our team, and the members of the community. Throughout this series, you'll hear a lot about how the city has been successful in recent years. And before I start, I want to acknowledge that a lot of that credit and the work of our success goes to my predecessor, Chris Mackey, and the members of the CED team for their incredible efforts to really turn Phoenix into an economic powerhouse. As I'm the next leader of CED, my goal and commitment is to build on that great foundation that has been set by the council and my colleagues, both past and present. Let's begin by setting the context for the series. The Great Recession, as all of you know, was a defining moment and inflection point for Phoenix's economy. It forced us to rethink how we grow, what we invest in, and how we compete. And since that moment, Phoenix has pursued a deliberate, strategic economic reset. And what you see today reflects more than just recovery. It reflects the strategic shift towards diversification, resilience, and long-term competitiveness. Today, we're excited to present the first of a 6-part series that explores ways we have strengthened Phoenix's competitiveness and established a foundation for the future of economic growth. So the Great Recession exposed some structural challenges in Phoenix's economy. We were overly reliant on housing and construction, and when those sectors collapsed, the impact was severe. And Phoenix responded with a strategic reset which aligned public investment, land use policy, and long-term partnerships around diversification and competitiveness. And that reset still defines how we grow today. Future parts of this series will explore topics like global markets and international relations, land and economic geography, talent and workforce development, and where Phoenix goes next. And we'll be coming back to you each month with an update. The decisions Phoenix made after the Great Recession were intentional and strategic. We designed an economic model that did not rely on a bounce-back cycle and instead aligned partnerships, infrastructure, development and land use policy, and investments in key industries to build a repeatable growth platform. And this new economic platform allowed us to compete for major projects, expand industry clusters, and sustain growth across multiple sectors. And once the platform was built, it has helped us scale where it's mattered most and create the cycle of economic growth. And most notably, that scale has occurred with our population growth. Phoenix grew from 1.4 million residents in 2010 to 1.6 million in 2024. And that's a 15.4% increase and an average annual increase of 1.2%. And that growth has been sustained, it's not episodic, and that's thanks to a consistent supply of economic opportunity. And so as the size and quality of our workforce has grown, the market's responded by adding more jobs, and because our scale could support that growth of major employers and industry sectors. And so few cities in the country have experienced this type of consistent growth and as a result of their population increase and the development of their workforce. Today, we compete with our nation's largest cities, and as shown in the slide, Phoenix is the fastest growing city of the top 5 cities in the United States when we look at the period of 2010 to 2024. We continue to see strong visitation, which brings people here first as visitors and then increasingly attracts them as future residents or as workers or investors. We also remain a top destination for commercial real estate investment with room for additional development and expansion. And so together, these indicators reflect business confidence, operational strength, and Phoenix's growing reputation as a great place to live, work, and build. The decision to invest in our workforce development by the city and our workforce partners, combined with investments and innovations in higher education, has resulted in increases in educational attainment. And this graphic shows improvement in educational attainment from 2010 to 2024. And it's a powerful indicator that Phoenix doesn't just recruit talent from outside the market, but we also produce it. And as you can see on the screen, some of our notable achievements are that we rank the best market for new college graduates, we're a fastest growing market for life science degrees, and Arizona State has ranked #1 for innovation for the 11th year. And in the chart, you see the change in educational attainment from 2010 to 2024, and you can see a significant increase, 83%, in those who have achieved a bachelor's degree or higher. And if you look at bachelor's degree or higher from our working population, 33% today have a bachelor's degree or higher, and 60% have some college education or higher. Since the Great Recession, we've significantly reduced our reliance on single industries. Since 2010, the employment in Phoenix has grown by 31%, and that growth has been most notable in what we call the knowledge economy sectors, which you see on the screen, and that growth has been significant. Education and health has added over 60,000 jobs alone. Professional and scientific jobs have increased by 32%, finance and real estate by 30%, and advanced manufacturing by 26%. And the diversification of our job growth has increased our resilience, but it's also decreased our economic risks if we were to have a future downturn. And those increased in higher quality and higher paying jobs has translated into income growth, which has outpaced population growth. And so since 2010, median income has increased by 101.7%. Average income has increased by 83.2%. And this is evidence that our economic development activity and the market have really translated into real household impacts when it comes to earnings. And so all that data and has really translated into a change in perception, which is incredibly important. As you see on the screen, we pulled a headline from 2009, which showed that Phoenix was among the weakest, one of the weakest economies in the nation. And when you look at headlines from 2025, we were ranking as a top economic growth market. And we've also been ranked top 3 as a top 3 city for economic growth in the US in 2024. And so I think it's important to note that that change happened within a 10-year span. And our strategy, really, the strategy that Phoenix set out after the Great Recession is validated because people and businesses and capital continue to come to Phoenix thanks to our strong fundamentals. So let's talk for a moment how we got to that success. And each of these slides are going to touch on a topic that we'll dive deeper into as we go on in the series. But first, we really focused on policy and investment. Phoenix Policies related to land use, development, and urban revitalization have transformed Phoenix's landscape, making room for new businesses and housing. And we paired that with energy investments and strategic thinking around core economic development activities like business development, capital attraction, talent development, and global engagement. And so the result has been more business locates and expansions of existing businesses, greater startup activity, and ultimately an expanded tax base, which is a key goal of economic development. Phoenix has leveraged our size and available land to catalyze growth across major industry sectors. Thousands of acres of land have been developed or positioned for development in recent years. And of course, a leading example has been TSMC, the largest foreign direct investment in the country, which is building an advanced manufacturing facility that will generate thousands of jobs. And this will be followed hopefully soon by Halo Vista, which will support critical suppliers and other innovation centers next to TSMC. We've also seen the growth of Discovery Oasis, a major bioscience and biotechnology innovation hub in North Phoenix, which is designed to support biotechnology sectors in partnership with Mayo and Arizona State University. So these development sites represent real anchors that are the result of our effective land use strategies, our economic development tools and the deployment of those tools, and creative partnerships across sectors. And we'll talk more about this in a later part in the series. We've also experienced significant growth and reinvestment in our urban core, with over 10,000 downtown housing units open since 2015, the opening of downtown's first full-service grocery store in 2019, and over 100 new businesses in 2025 alone. And downtown Phoenix is turning into the 18-hour economy that the city desires. And we can see on the screen that there's a pipeline of new units which will bring future residents that remains very strong. The growth has been supported by the city's investment in things like light rail infrastructure, which has generated $8.4 billion in private investment across 326 transit-oriented projects. In addition to using tools like GIPLET or reimbursement for public infrastructure, CDD has leveraged investments such as light rail, the Phoenix Convention Center, and improvements to the Mortgage Matchup Center to stimulate growth in our central city. And this supports talent attraction and further employer location decisions. And we'll have a full briefing on the state of downtown in a coming part of our series. So in addition to the work that the city's doing in terms of making strategic decisions around economic growth, we've also benefited greatly from economic activity being generated at our colleges, universities, and research institutes. And Phoenix is an environment where universities, healthcare systems, and private industry collaborate. And in classrooms, labs, and shared workspaces, researchers can test, validate, and commercialize their work faster. And the result is not just groundbreaking healthcare solutions with real-world positive impacts, it also means additional spin-off of additional companies, jobs, and other capabilities that further Phoenix's economic growth. And this work positions us to also compete for federal research dollars. And we've seen that strong ecosystems or federal dollars follow those strong ecosystems. And that's where we then see the concentration of talent, institutional capacity, and more partners. And so our intention is to keep strengthening this platform so that more funding, whether it's private or academic or public, continues to land in Phoenix. Nowhere is kind of the evidence of investment greater than in the Phoenix bioscience ecosystem. This slide shows that that bioscience is not just concentrated on a single campus, it's built as a network, and each hub plays a distinct role from research and discovery to care, to delivery of care and commercialization. We have, as I mentioned, Mayo Discovery Oasis anchored in the north part of Phoenix. We have the medical quarter and bioscience core which create real density around and opportunity for collaboration. And the Content Center provides room for future manufacturing and R&D. And this structure really allows us to scale as a bioscience hub, and that translates into more employers deciding to locate here and a stronger innovation pipeline. And so as our strategies and investment have taken root, the result has been increased business investment. And since 2015, Phoenix has secured 246 business locations that have resulted in jobs of over 111,000 created and retained, and capital investment exceeding $74 billion. These are companies such as ASML, Blue Origin, HelloFresh, JA Solar, United Foods International, Dignity Health, and many more. We're pleased to be recognized also as a leading startup community across major U.S. cities. And this is a true bright spot because we're proving that the momentum of a ecosystem that scales really then delivers in the creation of new startup businesses. And these results are really I'm thankful and grateful for these results because it's really showing that our CED team, led by the council's vision and decisions on how to invest in economic development, are really producing results year in and year out. Global engagement, it also continues to be a key part of how our economy grows. International investment, trade, and connectivity are shaping our competitiveness just as much as land and talent do. And in 2024 alone, Greater Phoenix attracted more than $35 billion in foreign direct investment, including expansions and new commitments. And that figure does not include TSMC's expected $165 billion investment. And you can see on the screen the largest sources of foreign direct investment come from Taiwan, South Korea, France, the United Kingdom, and Canada. And with Sky Harbor being one of Phoenix's strongest competitive assets, and the Phoenix Sister Cities program supporting business attraction, workforce connections, academic exchange, and cultural understanding, we've really cultivated strong global ties and connected ourselves to global markets. And we will discuss our international relation efforts in the next part of our series next month. So hopefully today we've demonstrated that Phoenix's economic transformation is a result of long-term intentional choices, strategic policies, and consistent investment. This transformation has strengthened our talent pool, increased our economic resiliency, expanded our tax base, and most importantly, generated greater economic opportunity for the residents of Phoenix. And today, Phoenix is built to compete and positioned to lead. And with that, Madam Chair, I'm happy to answer your questions and any questions from the members of the subcommittee. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Councilwoman Stark.
Thank you. One thing I didn't see, but I hope you're thinking about is housing stock and affordable housing. I think that's critical. When we did the case up in District 1, that was a strong component, was to make sure we had housing to complement what was being built. So I don't know if that's another segment you'll be talking about, but I hope that somehow we're weaving that into our strategy, because I think that's something that we need when we're out there promoting the city, that, yeah, we have places for people to live, they're affordable. I mean, clearly we want high-paying jobs, but not everything that comes in is going to be high-paying, and we've got to have starter houses, we've got to have middle housing. So hopefully you'll make sure you're weaving that into your discussion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilwoman Stark, and we'll go to Councilman Robinson.
Thank you, Chairwoman. First of all, excellent presentation, and later today I'm meeting with a group of business folks at the Arizona Country Club, and you've given me all the talking points that I need. So I really thank you for saving me some time later today. But a couple of questions I did have. I find all this very fascinating. But when we talk about, where'd I go? Oh, it was actually slide number 8, if you want to go to it. You know, talent is produced, not just recruited. And the fastest growing market is for life sciences degrees, and that's item number 2. Is that just because of the, and you may have answered the question, but is it just because of the bioscience campus, what's going on there, and obviously what's going on up north with Mayo? Are there any other sub-industries that are a reason behind the bioscience being such a fast-growing area, or life sciences, rather?
Thank you, Councilman Robinson. Thank you for the question. I would add that it's also the result of strategic investments and directions by our universities. So with the medical campuses that we have here, and also some of the so that's helping to produce the degrees. But I think what we're then seeing is that that we're keeping the students here and the graduates here, given the number of and variety of industries in life sciences and bioscience that we have across the city. And so I was just up at the PBC just the other night and talking to a student from University of Arizona who was able to work on his company while in school. He had designed a healthcare solution, and that as a result of using that university to then develop that, he could then spin out and now has space at the PBC and has started his business there, and also lives in downtown Phoenix and can walk to the PBC. So I think we're seeing the combination of the increase in degrees that are, and types of degrees that our universities are providing here in Arizona, that's then translating into students staying here to either take jobs in the bioscience industry or start their own companies. But does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you very much. It does help. And then on slide 11, that 10-year period, well, less than 10 years, or a little more than 10 years rather, between 2009 and 2025, when we went from having one of the worst economies to one of the best, what happened? I mean, what was the biggest issue there?
Well, I believe what we've seen is it's not just been one instance, but when you have, I think what I've seen in the past is as you've created a vision and a strategy for the future, and I think Phoenix has been very future focused in terms of the industries that we've gone out and tried to attract here. Things like advanced manufacturing, bioscience, aerospace, as examples. You begin to see the momentum build year after year. So I wouldn't maybe say it's one thing that happened that helped us jump from weakest to strongest, but it's been the combination of investments, policies, forward thinking, investment in land development and urban revitalization. All of those things combined or create the momentum for year after year growth. And I think that's why we saw on the slide about business locates, the number that we've been able to achieve has been the result of that kind of ongoing focus year in and year out. And that takes not just focus, that also takes investment. It takes the city funding economic development activities. It takes us working to attract businesses and partners to come to Phoenix and invest private capital. But that, I think, what we've seen is a strategic decision to grow and support that growth. And as a result, year after year, we've seen that momentum.
Thank you. And my very last question, it's on slide 14, where you, talking about the urban core, you had mentioned that we have an 18-hour economy. And I think I know what an 18-hour economy is. I did the math real quick. Are we saying from midnight to about 6 a.m., not a lot is going on in the downtown area?
Yeah, generally what we mean by that is not as much time-bound as just generally saying that your traditional downtowns used to be just the working hours, 8 to 5, and then everyone would leave downtown and go home to the suburbs. So what we're saying with the 18-hour economy is by putting uses like residential, amenities like our downtown arenas and our convention centers, hotels, and businesses downtown, we're creating a reason for people to be there beyond just maybe the typical workday. Maybe because they live there, but also because they're attracted into downtown to come see the newest restaurant or to take in a arts or cultural event. And so we generally just use that as not a time-bound thing, but more of just saying that the city is not just an employment center, it's also a lifestyle center.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I found it all very fascinating. Excellent presentation, and looking forward to the rest of it. So, Madam Chair, thank you for the time.
Thank you so much, Councilman Robinson. Councilwoman Pastor, do you have any questions or comments?
Sorry. Just thank you for the presentation. This has been built upon decades of many different mayors, and it finally hit, and it's hitting. And the whole thought process of work, play, and downtown is now we're seeing it happen. And so I'm very excited for the growth that we have had, but I'm also excited for the future of what we can continue to do. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Pastor. Thank you for what is the beginning of a multi-part session and presentation. I have a request that hopefully you're going to touch more on the education partnerships and the apprenticeship type programs that we have developed to make sure that the folks here in Phoenix and our surrounding communities can benefit from all of this strategic investment. I know that I recently heard that in 2014, our average salary was about $36,000, and now it's about $86,000. And so that is exciting to hear. This presentation reminds me of an interview I did with a media outlet probably about 18 months ago. And he was from New York City. And I kept saying fifth largest city in our interview when he was asking me questions. And finally he said, "Why do you keep saying fifth largest city?" I said, "Well, I was born and raised here, and we were a small town. And when I wanted to grow up, I wanted to move to a big town. And look, I didn't have to move. The city grew up with me." And that's very exciting. And it's not just exciting that we became a big city, but that we became a big city in a very strategic, thoughtful way. We had to take a big hit in the Great Recession for I think our leaders to finally sit down and truly make that conscientious decision to diversify in jobs, and not just for our city, but for our state. I'm thankful to many different leaders who came before me, and I hope that part of this presentation will be an education, but also helpful to ensure that the leaders we have today and the leaders that will come after us will continue on a very strategic path in making sure that we're making smart decisions for our city, which also impact our neighbors and our state as a whole. So this is very exciting. I know it was very time intensive, and thank you, Jasmine, for the work you did. Thank you, Eric, and great job, Ryan. Just a little over 60 days in, and we've had a chance to take a couple economic and development trips together. So it's very exciting what's going on, and I look forward to working with my colleagues and staff to continue this great work. So thank you for the presentation, and we look forward to what's to come. Are there any public comments? Okay, we have no public comments. Are there any additional agenda requests for future agendas? Yes, sir.
And we may turn this on, just the one, and it may already be on the agenda for the future, but I wanted an update on the downtown hotel, what the progress we were making on either establishing or where we're at with it, and those types of things.
Relative to
the convention
center?
Yes,
Yes,
I'm sorry.
they're supposed
I
to
left
come.
a lot out there.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure. We have a couple downtown hotels. Yes, we will make sure that is coming back to talk about. And actually, it's in March, so next month. All right. With that, then we are adjourned. Enjoy the rest.
I have one.
Oh, sorry, Councilwoman Pastor. Yes, ma'am.
I want to update on Roosevelt Row and our First Fridays, and just kind of the activity that we're seeing at our First Fridays.
Yes, ma'am. We will add that to the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we are adjourned. Have a great day. Bye.
days. This clock will not only serve as a reminder of the women's Final Four for the millions of travelers